Have you ever worked at a place that you just absolutely loved, where you have given your very best and felt you were compensated well until a new person is hired, you take them under your wing, you help them acclimate to the office, only to discover that they were making much more money than you? It's a challenge. Today's gospel lesson serves to challenge us. In our society, we are encouraged to make our own way. Hard work is valued, and those who for some reason are unable to work are always looked down upon. But Jesus never fails to challenge us as Christians to live generously, with kindness and grace, ultimately to live counter to popular culture. And he begins his story with the kingdom of heaven is like, and unfolds the parable of the generous landowner. The landowner had a vineyard full of ripe grapes, ready to be harvested, and he needed help to pick the grapes. So he goes out early to the marketplace looking for help. And the people who were gathered there looking for work, they were hungry, hoping to be hired to earn enough to purchase food for just a day, to stave off hunger. And the landowner hires a group of workers, agreeing to pay them a denarius, a day's wage, enough for the worker to be able to eat, and no more. The things that are unusual in this story are the landowner would never have gone to the marketplace. He would have sent someone else to hire the day laborers, and everyone would have been hired early in the morning. There would not have been 4 trips to town to hire help. Yet in this story, the landowner continues to go back to the marketplace and hire more workers throughout the day. The second and third time, he says he will pay them whatever is right, whatever is just. And then finally, about an hour before sunset, he returns one more time to town and asks the remaining folks in the marketplace why they were not working. No one has hired us. They had not been chosen. He sends them into the vineyard. They willingly go, but there's no indication of what they might receive for their labor. Maybe a crumb, maybe just enough to buy a piece of bread. And then comes the twist. The landowner pays the last workers first, giving them a full day's wage. And we can only imagine that those hired first became hopeful in seeing what he did to those who were hired last. And naturally, they would believe that they would receive more, having worked the full day. Equal pay for equal work. But we're in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is like. The landowner's generosity served to lift the spirits of the latecomers, in paying them what they needed to eat, in paying the early workers what was agreed to as a day's wage. They were disappointed, even disgruntled. And when questioned, the landowner points out he has done them no wrong. He fulfilled his agreement with them. It was his choice to give the same to the latecomers. And then he says, "Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous?" In this story, No one was denied or cheated or given less than what was agreed upon. The landowner's offense was generosity and grace freely given. God's generosity often cuts across what we think about who deserves what. God's amazing grace and generosity, love, is counter to popular culture. In the kingdom of heaven, all are worthy, valued, loved. Receive what is necessary, no more, no less. It doesn't matter if you came early or late or somewhere in between. You came. And this is a challenge for us as human beings. God's love and grace cuts across privilege, prestige, power, social standing. God embraces the least, the marginalized, and those in greatest need. In heaven's kingdom, everyone is treated equally. It is in our most vulnerable moments we pray for God's amazing grace and abundant generosity, just as we are challenged to provide them when we have enough.